You should hear what BlackRock CEO just said. Now, when I heard this news about BlackRock, it sparked my interest. We all know BlackRock, the financial giant of the banking world. They've got a vast amount of assets under their management, totaling $10 trillion, spanning both the US and the global markets. Well, their CEO, Larry Fink, recently made remarks about forcing behaviors. That's definitely raised some discussions. Here, take a look.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year, and what we are doing internally is if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted, okay?
We're doing the same thing.
And so it's just, you have to force behaviors. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. And that's not recruiting, it is development, as Ken said. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities, and we're going to have to force change.
I mean, sure, I'm all for diversity and all, but it's definitely raising some concern if there's talk about forcing people. Am I right? But what do you guys think? Does this kind of talk from corporate executives, especially at the CEO level, like Fink, leave a bad taste in your mouth? Just drop a quick yes or no in the comment section down below. Now, while prompting diversity is important, the idea of compelling people to adopt specific behaviors, particularly coming from the CEO of such a significant financial corporation, it definitely raises concerns. Now, there was also a recent news headline regarding a BlackRock employee who was caught on tape bragging about how the company can just run the world. How do you feel about that? Do you guys feel comfortable? As a matter of fact, did you guys see that? Plus, we should not overlook BlackRock's involvement in responding to the US housing crisis, especially when they've been found to be acquiring people's homes. Last but not least, BlackRock just applied to launch a Bitcoin fund. Basically, what conspiracy theorists are saying is that they're trying to kill the current crypto industry market and then hand it over to their cronies. So yeah, all of these developments raise questions about BlackRock's intentions and, of course, their potential impact. Now, given these circumstances, it's crucial for us to consider whether we want to allow BlackRock to exert such a significant influence. Now, I've had people suggest that everybody should pull out their money and boycott BlackRock so that they lose billions of dollars and force them to rethink their plan. Now, I don't know about that, guys. What do you think? I mean, what I'm hearing is Larry likes to force people to do things that they don't want to do. Now, this kind of forceful influence could easily be associated with a certain style of leadership in the past, which, by the way, has often resulted in very negative consequences for humanity. You guys know what I mean, right? The question is, can we learn from history and avoid repeating the same patterns? At least we here on the channel know better, right? All right, let's get right to the bottom of things. You see, the most concerning part about this is the sheer scale of BlackRock as a financial giant. Now, I'm honestly surprised how we got here. I mean, how the US government could just let BlackRock get this big and influence policy and regular Americans this way. Usually they break up companies before they get too big. I mean, the company is managing a mind-blowing $10 trillion in assets, both the US and global. Now, that's pretty big, you guys. That is almost 1/2 of the whole US economy consolidated in just one bank. Plus, it is worth noting that BlackRock played a pretty big significant role in facilitating the transactions when it came to the money printing spree by the Federal Reserve way back in 2020 and in 2021. All that bond buying, yeah, BlackRock helped the central bank with that. And it's getting harder and harder not to notice BlackRock's noticeable presence within the US government and the banking system, especially since they're still exerting effort to expand their influence. Now, I don't know, guys. It seems like their ambitions extend beyond the United States, and they may just be ready to engage on a global scale, if you know what I mean. At the end of the day, I see it all as based on credit and debt. When you live within your means, you can take back control and just let BlackRock be. But you know me, guys, I'm all about the financial freedom here on the channel, and I believe that the closest that we are to being free is to be free of any debt. But what do you guys think? Is debt free the way to go? And it's why I'm always talking about building your own businesses, or at least diversifying your income streams, right? Learn how to build wealth, create an investment portfolio, and see the view away from the corporate America. It's getting harder and harder by the day for small businesses, I'm sure. But I do believe that we still have our chance to build wealth. We just got to keep seizing those financial opportunities, getting that good old financial education in, and of course, taking control of our own financial future. Can I get an amen, guys? All right, so here's the insider scoop. Did you guys see that undercover footage of that one Blackrock employee talking about how the company attempts to stay out of the media spotlight, meanwhile buying politicians and profiting off of the war? Yeah, here's a clip with about 12 million views now. So yeah, in the footage secretly recorded by the undercover journalist in New York, that's a BlackRock recruiter named Sergey Varley who's explaining how the investment company is able to run the world. If you guys want more information on this one, definitely check out the description down below. Now, it's a whole 11-minute video on Twitter. You got to check it out if you haven't already. But here's some of the quotes that I got from it. Quote, "They, BlackRock, don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar." Here's another one. "It's not who is the president, it's who is controlling the wallet of the president." Here's another one. "Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right? Russia blows up Ukraine, grain silos, and the price of wheat's gonna go up mad. And last but not least, it doesn't matter who wins, they're in my pocket." Wow. That pretty much sums it up for you guys, doesn't it? Well, this is probably what most people are worrying about when it comes to corporate America and capitalist America, right? Plus, we also have to talk about how BlackRock and other private maximizers are handling the US housing crisis. Anybody who's anywhere near active in our communities knows that the housing insecurity and homelessness are rising fast. People are being forced to move back home with parents, due in part to an ever-shrinking lot of affordable rentals and homes. Now, at this point, food and housing should be the rallying cry right now. Now, one of the major problems that nobody's addressing at this point is the huge number of rental properties and single-family homes that are now being snatched up by nameless, faceless corporations in order to evict long-standing residents, slap a new coat of paint on the walls, maybe purchase a shiny new refrigerator, and then double the rent for a new tenant. According to the Wall Street Journal in 2021, 200 corporations are aggressively purchasing tens of thousands of homes and even entire neighborhoods at times, boosting up the rents and driving people who are low income, middle income. If they can't afford it, they got to go. Now, for example, a BlackRock creation called Innovation Homes merged with another outfit, and as of 2021, this conglomerate owned 80,000 rental homes. In 2012, this outfit, also known as Treehouse Homes, went on a buying spree where they were purchasing $150 million worth of homes per week, up to $10 billion. Now, at this point, if we really lived in a country that actually valued our citizens, housing would probably be more of a priority. Now, I'm not a housing expert or lawyer, not a financial advisor, none of that. But I do see some things pretty clearly. Corporate ownership of millions of units of housing has not been good for our country. Rent control is non-existent in the vast majority of towns and cities in the United States. Homelessness has spiraled to numbers that we have never seen before. Corporate ownership is definitely an important issue that we need to bring up with the Biden administration. But let me know if you guys agree with that. Last BlackRock headline of the day. BlackRock applied to launch a Bitcoin fund. Then came the conspiracy theories. There are exceptional and very ordinary aspects of the application BlackRock filed with the US SEC last week to launch an exchange-traded fund, or an ETF, that would track the price of Bitcoin. Plain and simple, BlackRock is a fund manager. It creates, manages, and distributes funds. Now, last I checked, they had a whopping 1,300 ETFs. This is literally what it does. And investors knew about the partnership BlackRock struck last year with Coinbase, the cryptocurrency exchange BlackRock said that they were going to be using as a Bitcoin custodian on behalf of the iShares Bitcoin Trust if regulators approve it. Now, the effort to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF, though, it's a meaningful development in crypto land. Like they said in Bitwise Asset Management, the future of crypto is more BlackRock and less Binance, end quote. Norva Gratz, he tweeted that BlackRock launching a Bitcoin ETF would be the best thing that could happen to Bitcoin. Plus the fact that Wall Street's top regulator has so far rejected other smaller asset managers' applications to launch similar investment vehicles. The crypto money manager Grayscale even sued the SEC last year after it tossed out Grayscale's application to turn a Bitcoin trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. I didn't even know you could sue the SEC. The price of Bitcoin has rallied near its highest level of 2023 in the last few days, especially since BlackRock filed this application. Bitcoin just crossed above 30,000 last I checked. Crypto influencers all have their thoughts on BlackRock's new crypto efforts, which just goes to show the relatively new scrutiny that BlackRock is facing from everyday investors and, of course, the general public. I even read some pretty far-out comments about BlackRock's position in the crypto market. You could say that this is another front in the scrutiny around the financial company. According to one venture capitalist with 197,000 followers, quote, So, BlackRock, Citadel, Deutsche Bank, and NASDAQ have all started to enter the crypto space in the last week. They've bullied out participants so that they can scoop up cheap coins. The trajectory for crypto has never been more clear, end quote. A business podcast host tweeted to his 903,000 followers, quote, "They're not trying to kill crypto. They're trying to kill the current crypto industry and then hand it over to their cronies. Citadel, BlackRock, Schwab, JP Morgan, end quote." A BlackRock spokesperson declined to comment when asked about what all of these crypto influencers had to say. But according to the firm's global head of content and media about a year ago, quote, "They've certainly done research, and we know that there is a perception that a lot is going on in BlackRock that people don't necessarily understand," end quote. But let me know if you guys are interested in more videos about BlackRock or any other financial headlines that caught your attention. Our comment section is wide open for you guys, and also check out those videos in the description down below that somehow got suppressed a little bit. But anyway, I just love hearing from my financial freedom fam. But I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in for today's videos on BlackRock, all the different headlines about them, both the good and the not so good. Here in our financial freedom fam, I aim to give you guys some of the most valuable content to help you really understand the world of personal finance, whether it's investment strategies, budgeting tips, or just staying up to date with the latest market trends. I got you guys covered. Big, huge thanks for the support, you guys, and an even bigger thanks for always lighting up that like button. I totally appreciate that. Until next time, I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.